can go ahead and have a seat right here.
All right, perfect.
You have all kinds of fun stuff for us today, right?
I do indeed.
You changed my ways a little bit.
Are you ready for this?
I am ready for this, absolutely.
All right.
Very excited.
Good. Well, I am too, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for trusting me. I've got the questionnaire that you filled out earlier for us, and I brought that with me today.
Okay.
I made a few notes for myself, and I want to go through and ask you some additional questions.
All right, perfect.
But before I get the questionnaire out for us to begin talking, let me tell you a little bit about today. And that today is about you. I'm going to be asking you quite a few.
Oh, well, I never hear that very often.
I thought you might enjoy that.
All right.
So I'm going to be asking you some in-depth questions, and some of them you may have questions about why I'm asking the questions, and you're perfectly okay to ask me about that. If that comes up for you, I can answer your questions as well. But what I'm going to be doing is asking you things about, in detail, about what kinds of things you eat, and also other lifestyle things, and that will help me put together a program for you moving ahead. So. Thank you for the advanced work that you did, and thanks for your patience as I get the bag out here.
I'm anxious to see how you analyze all of that.
Well, you know something, you are really already pretty far ahead in the continuum of things. Not that this is something that we should be judging. It's not like there's a good way or a bad way.
Right.
And one of the things I say to my clients is this: if we look at the way that we eat and we live our lifestyles as a continuum, with one end of the spectrum being the standard American diet and people who we know are doing some unhealthy things, and then at the other end of the spectrum you've got the really, really, really healthy people that you don't ever want to be around because they make you feel guilty for everything you do and every choice that you make.
I know a few of those people.
Yes, we all do. And if you can find a spot for you on that continuum that fits for you at any particular given period of time, that's what it is that we're trying to do here. And it's not a judging thing. It's not that you're trying to get from one place to the other. And remember this also, Michele, as we work together. There will be points in time when you will feel like you're on top of the world and you're doing a really good job, and something may happen for you that causes you to have a little bit of a setback. Maybe stress at work, maybe something happens in your personal life, whatever. Or maybe it's the holidays and you're celebrating and you might have what you would call, quote, a setback. It's not the end of the world, and we'll talk as we go along about how to address those types of issues, how to deal with those, how to head them off at the pass. So this is an ongoing continuum kinds of thing, and remember, it's a lifestyle. This isn't a diet, and so
Absolutely.
That's where we're going with this.
Yeah,
so
that's why I like you and your approach, and I think it's going to be a nice fit for where I'm trying to get and my family, and so I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Absolutely. The first couple of questions that I asked had to do with what it was you consumed, and I asked whether or not you ate meat, chicken, fish, and so forth. You're not vegetarian, according to this, and so you do eat some of those things. Talk to me a little bit about the sources of the food that you get, the meat products.
The sources, I try to buy, as organic as possible. That's not always the case. Sometimes we buy it in bulk. We try to access the farmers that are in this area that have it available. And for me personally, meat isn't a focus of when I'm putting a meal together, but my husband, is a meat eater. And so I try to incorporate it into things more for his satisfaction than anything. And, it's not, we don't eat a lot of it, but it is part of our, part of our diet.
Okay. And I'm going to hit the pause button for you and tell you, that I am personally vegan and I'm a raw foodist.
Right.
When I ask you these questions, again, it's not from a judging perspective. It's not because I'm going to say to you, well, we're going to cut meat out of your diet in a hurry. That's not the case at all. What I'm asking, the reason I'm asking is so that when I build things for you and build a program for you, I'm accommodating the things that you're comfortable with. If there are things that I ask you, for example, if you say, I do eat meat now, I don't want to, then we'll talk about that. So that's where that question is coming from. So I'm delighted to hear that you're conscious about the sources of your meat products. Organic.
Not perfect with it by any means. Sometimes it's what's available, or I'm in a hurry, or we're having people, but I do try to get it
organic and local,
close to natural, as possible.
That's wonderful. And then obviously you're aware of hormones and antibodies and those or antibiotics and those kinds of things.
Right.
So.
I would prefer not to have any of that.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever we can, let's leave that out.
Yeah.
And the same thing with dairy products. You've got some dairy products on your repertoire. Talk about that.
Probably, I'm not a milk drinker, but I do like cheese. And so, and I cook with milk, you know, of course, but I haven't drank milk since I was little.
Okay.
But I do like cheese and probably eat a lot of cheese.
Yes.
And eggs and that, but you know, and like I said, it was the same with the meat. I don't know that I want to do away with any of it, but I just want to kind of what naturally evolves and happens with. I just want to, you know, be smarter about how we prepare things and where we're getting it from and
Right.
how we're putting it together.
Do you ever have any ill effects from the dairy that you consume?
No,
okay.
I don't.
So you don't have a digestion issue?
I'm pretty, I don't really have any ill effect from anything that I eat.
Good.
Very, very rarely.
And the rest of the family is okay with that too? Okay,
Yep.
good. So when I'm asking the questions, I'm primarily asking about you, but if it comes up that somebody in your family, if I hit a hot button and you say, oh, I don't have sinus problems, but my offspring do, or my siblings do, or whatever, then let's talk about that as well. You have a husband?
Yes, I do.
And
a daughter who turns 8 this month.
Wow. Okay. And no health problems with him. Okay.
Not with any of us.